Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you joining in. I've been out for a couple weeks, had some health issues there, and then was visiting with family on a small vacation there. So back at it, back at trading, back with our team, and it feels great. We started this week with some hot stocks. I forget the name from Monday, but it was a really good one. And then today, MCTR has paid off and then some. So I'm going to go over MCTR and what's going on here. I want to go over our strategy, our indicators, how we trade this setup, how we're focused on, of course, mitigating risk, number one, but also how can we maximize profit. Look at this stock right now hitting 36.50, and it started all the way down here, a low of $4.89, now hitting highs around 36.77. So what an impressive move. If we measure this out from the pre-market in the gray here all the way to the top of this move, we're talking 585%. This is that short squeeze and that momentum style of trading that we love to see. This is why I'm doing exactly what I'm doing now, and this is what I teach every day. So I trade live Monday through Friday in our Discord. I've got a live channel where you can hear me taking my trades, explaining the trade before it ever happens. So what happens is often MCTR will hit our scanners. I pull up a chart. I then look at our indicators. So I'll go ahead and turn those on now. And it's going to look like a mess at first, but over here to the left-hand side, what I'm looking at is these lines and levels. So I'm looking at these lines and saying, you know what? It's got to close above that line. So if I put a price tag on this, so if I put a price label here, 950 was that purple line right there. I want to see it close above that line. That's going to give me confirmation and continuation. So this morning, as we were gapping up in the pre-market, we first had this white line to use and basically aid in entry and exit. So in other words, when it closes above, I could take a trade once it tests that level or it stays above this level. That's going to be bullish momentum, looking for it to hold and continue. My target would be up here, of course, taking profit on the way up, but I'd be looking for that next line as my major target. So 950 would be that level. We had a nice move on MCTR this morning. It reached all the way up here to about, let's see, the top of this candle here was 1001. So we'll go ahead and label that as well. So 1001. I'll just fix this down to 1001. That's where it was. So that's going to be the top of that candle. So as that candle formed there, that was the topping tail there around 1001. So what happened there is it filled the gap. It's filling the gap to that level. So it's filling the gap to $10. So we always try to teach half and whole, half and whole. So those are going to be mental levels. So yes, we have the 950 is a solid line and a solid level on our confirmation support and resistance, which you'll see I have got a number of indicators on here that we're working on, but the confirmation support resistance is going to be the one that's going to be most important. So that's going to be the one I'm looking at right there. That's going to give me that line and level. It gapped up 1001. That means it filled the gap. That means this line is now really out of play. I'm looking for it to close over the whole dollar test, which would be around $10. So I don't have that marked, but if you wanted to mark it, you can mark it just Alt-H, and you can change the color of this line to whatever you prefer. So we'll draw it as white. That's going to give me that line that I want to see it close over. So once we closed over here, this is a trade that I could take. Now, of course, this was halting up, so this was a tough situation to be trading. Of course, wanted to see it close above clean and not have these halts. So for me, sitting out of this position, got myself a nice win in the pre-market session. But then what happened is it pulled back. So it offered a short position as well. And you can see this giving those red candles. So our indicator is giving you the indication that the green candles here, that's going to be your bullish signal, right? That's your bullish sentiment. So you can trade long side. And we have the green trend zone here as well. So green candles, green trend zone, that's two strategies built into one indicator. That's our 1 minute bullish pivot pro. And this is a 1 minute chart. So you can see green candles here. This would be your entry. You could possibly, in theory, add into these try to pullbacks here. That would be about a 6% pullback, or you could just hold your position, look for those new highs, take profit. You're already up 15% by this candle, and all of a sudden at the top of this move, you're up 45%. So that's a really impressive move, and a lot of our traders are taking profit on the way up, holding a lot for that continuation. Once we see this signal here, that's where you exit your position, and you're looking for it to then close above the pivot zone. We're looking for those green candles in the green trend zone. So right now we have a red trend zone, red candles. That's bearish sentiment, so short traders can take advantage. We have a short trend crossover here. All of a sudden we have this downward move. That would be a nice short opportunity. We have a signal reversal here. It did not hold up. We could see it then failed here. And this would be what I'm talking about when I say I'm focused on risk mitigation. And so is the strategies that we build every day into these indicators. What I'm talking about is MCTR. Yes, it gave a bullish signal here, but this isn't exactly a confirmation and beautiful type of setup, right? This is not our A+ setup. And the reason for it, we've already filled the gap all the way up to these levels here, and that's going to be 1157. 1150 would be our $half test. So if we drew a line here, Alt H, there's your line, 1150. So we filled the gap to 1150, half and whole, half and whole, half and whole, right? So now we want to see it close over 1150 for confirmation and continuation. So even though we're getting these signals, these are going to be qualified as lower quality type of setups. And that's okay, because a lower quality type setup can still provide high quality type results. However, it is less likely, and therefore we want to be aware of the conditions here. We want to adjust our size and stop level to help mitigate risk, because of course mitigating risk is going to be number one when trading these low float stocks. It failed the level here. This would be a possible loss if I were to be in that trade. I may take a loss here, could go short, get yourself a short little scalp there, nothing crazy. And then we have another long trend reversal here. So the trend is changing, right, back and forth. But again, this is a lower quality type setup because we're not above that recent pivot zone. We're not above this white line. So as we see that, we see these red candles. So only one of the two strategies is giving us that bullish sentiment. So sure, it's a trade that we may take, but of course we don't want to take this with full size. This is not my A+ setup. You can see it did give a nice little opportunity here. So if you got in on this candle that reversed, all of a sudden you get out here, you're looking at just over 10%, 12% on this trade. And this is $1 per share. So that's a really nice move, right? Pivot zone, pullback, okay. Red, shorts are in control. Green, all of a sudden bullish sentiment is in control. Then we're getting these green candles as well. So we're seeing green candles, green trend. That's a powerful move. That's what we want to see for long trade opportunities. And you can see a nice squeeze here. So once we get the green candle, green trend in combination, all the way up to, excuse me, if I click on this here, I should see it. There it is. All of a sudden, we get a 31% move, pull back into the red, 18% on the top of, on this pullback here. So not a bad move, over $1 per share, $1.68 per share on that move. Then all of a sudden, again, same thing, getting the signal. We're closing over this white line, right? So if I zoom in here, you'll see this white lines right here. Closed above, we are extended. We can see that with our indicator here. It's showing that we are extended. All of a sudden, it pulled back, did not hold. Okay, we're out of our position. We have a new pivot zone. We're waiting for it to close over. There it is. It closed over. We're above the trend. We want to stay above that trend. All of a sudden, we're getting a nice trade. So again, if you're getting on this position, that is about 14%, $1.85 per share. So these are quick moves. These are minute candles, right? There's not many minutes that you're in your position before you're cashing out and getting yourself a nice win. And then from there, you can always hold a lotto. That's what I love to do myself. That means after I'm securing my profit, I'm holding a sliver of that profit in the position still, just in case we continue. And what I'm looking for is this trend to hold up. So as we see this trend turn red here, this is where I may exit that position. Now I may walk away, go enjoy my day, spend time with family, whatever it may be, or if I'm still trading, that's okay. Our indicator is built for that. So it's built for you to continue trading and help mitigate risk and, of course, maximize profit, right? That's what we're looking for. So as we pull back here, all of a sudden we closed above again, trend right there, fail. Okay, so if I'm in the position, I may get out flat. I may take a small loss. That's okay. Small losses will happen. All of a sudden we got the reversal here. Green candle. If I zoom in right here, green trend, green candle, bullish vertical trend. So maybe I take a smaller size. All of a sudden, boom, it explodes again. Let's measure this move. I'm guessing it's over $1. And sure enough, it's $8.55 to the top of this move. Now, of course, you're not going to get the bottom and top of every chart and every move. But guys, 57% in a matter of maybe 10, 20 minutes, not too shabby, right? As we continue here, it closed above. So if you missed out on that opportunity, a lot of traders say, oh man, Bob, I missed out. How do I get in? Don't worry. Our indicator, again, is built for that. It's built for momentum trading. It's built for these low float stocks, and it's built to help mitigate risk. So as we close above this pivot zone, what that means is this pivot zone is acting as our perfect level to get in. Close above, I can get in. Close below, I get out. So where do I put my stop loss? It's right below that pivot zone or right below this trend zone. So it really depends if you're a trend trader or if you want to keep it tight to the strategy. But both strategies are telling you that this is a long opportunity. Green trend, green candles. Let's measure the move from this entry. Here's your entry. All of a sudden we go up here, $6 per share. Guys, this is such an amazing chart, and it doesn't always happen like this, right? This isn't always the case. This is not always going to happen where you're getting, $1 per share in 5 minutes and $6, $7 per share in a matter of 10 minutes. It's not always the case, but it can happen. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of low float stocks. That's why we love this. And we are laser focused. We are prepared. We know exactly what we're looking for. So we've got our scanners that are just, going off, letting us know, okay, MCTR, MCTR, MCTR. So we know this is the obvious stock that everyone's trading. Now it's a matter of, how do I trade it? How do I mitigate risk? How do I maximize profit, right? And this is how I'm going to do it myself. So I'm getting into this position. Here's your signal. Okay, we closed above the pivot zone. We have a trend zone here. Let's measure this move to the top of this candle here, $4.50 per share. So again, if you're not locking in profit after you're hitting over $1, $2, $3 per share, then it may be a good idea to lock in some of that profit, in my opinion, my experience, right? It's a great idea to lock in some of that profit, at least some. That way you're not left in the dust when all of a sudden it pulls back sharply, because it will do that. Eventually it's going to pull back, just a matter of when, right? And we're just looking to trade this as we see it. So short signal here. Okay, we're back out. There's your long signal. We have the green trend. We have green candles, can get back in. Okay, fail right there. All of a sudden, let's zoom in. There's another entry right before close. This blue area is the close. So this is going to be around 4 p.m. And you can see MCTR. There's your bullish signal, green trend, green candles. Okay, let's measure the move. Again, we're measuring this out. 51% on your trade, $15, almost $16 per share. Guys, this is an absolute beauty of a chart. It's having me basically lost for words here, right? It's a beautiful chart. This is what we look for. And of course, if you're trading throughout the day, our indicator is built on helping you mitigate risk and maximize profit. It's not just some BS out there where I say, oh, I'm going to guess that MCTR is going to go to $30. It's going to go to $4. Nobody knows that it's going to go to $46, $47. Nobody knows that. If you knew that, then you wouldn't be talking to me right now. No one would be. You'd be a guru, a complete guru. It's a bunch of BS, guys. Don't believe it. Instead, trade the price action and trade the volume as you see it. You can see down there on the histogram, on our volume histogram, we had a lot of volume. These green candles, that's a lot of volume. These are going to be entry type candles. So I'm looking for that high volume. These yellow candles, a little bit lower volume. I prefer to see the green candles myself down there at the histogram. And then, of course, the red candles, that's something that I'm not trading. So if I see a bullish signal on a red candle, it's really not for me. I'm waiting for confirmation with the volume. Once I see the volume in conjunction with our strategy, again, it's just a recipe for success. And if we look at our trend IQ over here, if I go ahead and measure this, or start from the beginning of the day. So if we go over to MCTR when it was first hitting our scanners, what you'll see, and that's, I think, most interesting about this, is that our trend IQ on the left-hand side is letting you know that 950 is the key level, and that's 950 right there. And sure enough, where did we peak out? So let's hit play for a minute here, and you'll see it go ahead and play out, and there it is. It hit our line. That's our 950. You guys can see that, right? So 950, that's our white line. I'll get rid of this one here. It did hit a high of 1001, but the 950, this purple line right here, is actually the 950 level. So it hit that level, and it gapped up all the way to $10. So, of course, we're using half and whole, so that's whole dollar. And now it's saying continuation watch. So this trade went from a quick trade lotto to now the trade type is continuation watch. We are watching this one today for the entire day for continuation, because every time it gets above one of these levels, it has that potential to squeeze. And we love when these stocks squeeze, because when they squeeze, we get those $1, $2, $3, $5, $10 moves in a matter of minutes. And guys, that is low flow trading. That is what I teach every day. If you want to learn more about this, visit bullishboblive.com. If you found any value in today's video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.